Hello, dear friends. Life teaches us the hard way, but we are tired of this brutal teaching method. We deserve a gentler world based on truth. Opinion piece. Regeneration World. Last academic year. Earth School of Souls. Increase in barbarism. The day is about to end. Waking up from a nightmare. Nothing will ever be the same. Success is a state of consciousness. No one can supplant the divine plan. Let's start. The earth will cease to be a world of trial and reconciliation, and will move to the frequency of a world of regeneration, where illusion will cease to exist. Like all the schools we know, this school of life is no different. When they finish their learning, students move on to another school, always at a higher level. This change in level is also called planetary transition, according to Vital Froese. The Earth is a school of souls, and all the souls who were willing to come here to experience duality knew that the rule was based on tests and reconciliations, not to mention that the veil of oblivion gave the sensation of separation from the fountain, from the source. However, everything was staged as a true theater of life, and each soul incarnated on earth was wonderfully lived her character in each incarnation, as if everything were very real. Nothing will ever be the same as it has been for centuries. We are in the last academic year of this school. The current incarnation will determine who is suitable to move to the next level and who still needs reinforcement in their learning. Remember, the basis of success is the state of consciousness of each student. It's no use knowing the lessons if you can't put them into practice. Remember your school days when at the end of the course there were practical tests depending on course on the profession for which each one had prepared. The final tests determine the fitness of each incarnated soul and will also determine which school planet those who have not been successful will be sent to. So now we have defined two timelines. One will lead to the new Earth, and the other will go into the opposite direction, that is, away from here. The new Earth will be here on this planet, but no longer on the same energetic frequency as the old Earth. This current incarnation will also have the function of adjusting the frequency of each soul to their individual vibration. All people living today are capable of ascending, but many will make no effort to do so. Events. The Creator gives a special support to each soul incarnated on earth. He will do everything possible so that none of them are lost in this final stretch. Contrary to what we may imagine, the events we observe everywhere are actually opportunities for souls who have not yet gone through such situations. They not only provide the opportunity to unblock pending issues, but also the conditions for many to develop in themselves compassion, solidarity, unconditional love, respect, cooperation, and many other virtues. The nightmare that we seem to live today is part of the apocalypse, which is nothing other than the revelation of what we could not see or know before. It is the truth that will free consciousness still trapped in illusion. There is a biblical phrase that says, "And when all things seem to come to an end, it will not be the end of the world, but the beginning of a new era." This is exactly where we are. There are times when even the most expansive conscience trembles before the facts presented, especially when faced with the truth about a part of the human being. The cunning of the dark side that still so stubbornly determines the destiny of humankind is beyond human comprehension. Barbarism. In recent years, we have seen a huge increase in barbarism, and also in the number of people showing who they really are. They are showing what lot they serve, and they have no qualms about doing so. They show that they served dark entities that kidnapped the planetary long ago. They also believe that they can continue their rule forever, which is impossible because the Creator has said enough. Nothing and no one can supplant the divine plan. If something, one, if something was allowed, it is because it had a purpose. The limited consciousness of incarnated souls did not allow us to understand the true experience sought here. But now we enter another level of perception and everything is revealed and understood. Each consciousness will receive updated information according to its ability to understand. No revelation can be expected for those who do not understand the message. Many of you, who are already prepared for the days to come, will also have the mission of guiding and enlightening those who ask for help as they awaken from the shock. It will be a form of exercise solidarity, compassion, love, and respect for others. But you must have this perception of reality, because without expanded consciousness, instead of helping, you would need help yourself. Waking up. Remember that everything that happens in these times is a mechanism of the Creator Himself, used to awaken consciousness. We need to wake up from the nightmare that has gripped humankind for centuries, especially in recent years. This is how the current timeline works to avoid Armageddon. How else can humanity be awakened? Many countries are going through difficult situations, not because of the natural limitations of the region or the people, but because of their hybrid rulers, who combine in a Dantean mechanism that ends up harming an entire nation. Some souls who joined those frequencies out of mental alienation, sympathy, or interest can now better evaluate their behavior, because agreeing with evil is part of it. Nothing will be the same from now on. The nightmare is coming to an end, and when we wake up, we will realize that it was all an illusion. Each soul incarnated on this planet has a unique, individual, and personal story, because what built its consciousness was the sum of its characters lived in each incarnation. This will also be the book of your life, written in the word of all your experiences. Now you are waking up from the nightmare. The feeling that everything seemed real is true, but we'll soon realize that it was such a perfect illusion that the engraved impression was actually nothing more than an illusion. That is a perfect play. You played your role so well that the emotions you experienced were recorded in the archive of your soul and therefore immortalized as a true experience. Your story will be unique and will be repeated infinitely in the cosmos. Now you are waking up from this nightmare, but you must realize that in reality it was nothing more than a dark dream. Wake up. The day is about to end. I am Vital Frozy and my mission is enlightenment. Breaking news. The UN General Assembly demands a ceasefire in Gaza. Israel ignores international criticism and continues its offensive in Gaza. The Davos Forum warns that 2024 could bring a cyber attack. Why so much movement around the world right now? Asks Space Commando. Millionaires immigrating, animals immigrating, gold bars moving, and the black hole of the Milky Way is an orb of brilliant light. Ismael Perez mentioned the bankruptcies and the subsequent revaluation of the currencies of which we are on the edge of the precipice. When discussing that reset, the Galactic Alliance asked him to share that Trump would be a Saint Germain fractal, a crazy idea. Elon Musk encourages people to have children. The founder of Tesla has 11 children from 3 different mothers. Some social media algorithms are strongly pushing content that encourages people not to have children, promoting the idea that unbridled consumerism is more satisfying. Opinions. Rosary Revolution. The phrase Rosary Revolution is related to movements of protest that use religious practice, such as praying the Rosary, as a way to express discontent or resistance against the government. A historical example could be the Rosary Revolution in Nicaragua in the 80s, where groups opposed to the Sandinist government used the practice of the Rosary as a means of protest against the government. This call arises from the initiative of lay Catholics concerned about political, social, and moral situation in Spain, and in response to pressure from the government to prevent these expressions of faith on public roads. Buffner said, "We have been watching the machinations with impatience and a keen eye to what might be coming very soon. We agree that the world arena is approaching a confrontation, and before it ends, the entire Earth will know much more than this project. We are grateful for that and can say that we constantly assure you that the Dragon families are still on the verge of putting this exchange into motion. We don't know when, nor do they, but they have ways of pointing it out and allowing it as the doors open and the instructions come out. We wish we could give more specific guidelines, but you know that won't be the case. We cannot say anything that has not been allowed. It's the day of the old cookie crumbles, as you all know very well. According to Saint Germain, the system collapses when critical mass is reached, and with it the pounds fall. This is hardly conceivable from today's perspective. However, he is on his way and nothing can stop him. The political figures currently acting represent something that no longer exists in its essence. The transition to the new age of light is a great task for the people and for us beyond the veil. Everything possible must be done and undertaken so that this transition is as free as possible from irreversible damage to people, animals, and the planet. He who promotes good and truth and can manifest it in himself and his fellow men is important. Great things and powerful processes often begin with a phrase, spoken at the right moment. Even if at first the person refuses to listen, if he turns his back on you, everything that has ever been transmitted remains in the memory of the earth and the human being. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.